Welcome back to Meet the Museum for the continuation of Episode 5, highlighting the Bible story prints in the Klurfeld Hall Gallery. I'm Carol Ross, a docent with the Rabbi Ronald and Judy Shapiro Museum of Judaica at Congregation Shalom. Today, let's examine our powerful print by American artist Dean Meeker entitled Joseph's Coat. The coat is clearly the focal point of the piece. Meeker was fascinated with the depth and power in the color of Joseph's cloak. In the ancient world, color on clothing was achieved through the use of expensive dyes. So this coat would be precious and prestigious, first due to its vivid red coloring, and second for another reason, that being the Jewish custom derived from Mesopotamia for a father to give a coat of color to his son to indicate that son is favored as the next leader. Joseph's father, Jacob, did just that. Genesis chapter 37 verse 3 reads, "Now Jacob loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many color." While artist Dean Meeker was not Jewish, he often used biblical figures as subjects in many prints and sculptures, and Joseph was a favorite subject. Meeker was interested in the male figure as hero. Here, the biblical figure of Joseph fills the frame with his broad chest and with the deep red of his coat, suggesting Joseph's power and his ability to overcome the odds. What odds? The jealousy of his brothers, being sold into slavery by them, being imprisoned in Egypt, to name just a few. Meeker's powerful figure of Joseph reminds us of the Bible story in which Joseph uses his strength of character and his skill at interpreting dreams to become advisor to the Pharaoh, to reconcile with his brothers, and ultimately to save the country and his family from famine. The year 2020 marks the 100th anniversary of Dean Meeker's birth. Born in Colorado in 1920, he earned degrees at Northwestern University and the Art Institute of Chicago. Meeker taught for 46 years at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, so he definitely has ties to the Midwest. He passed away in 2002. Meeker is remembered for his major contributions to printmaking, elevating it from a largely commercial activity to a fine arts form. Interesting fact, as a teenager during the Depression, he painted billboards in Colorado and then later in Chicago, and there he was first exposed to silk screening and printing processes. His work is internationally recognized and included in exhibitions in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in NYC, at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, the Smithsonian, and more locally at our Milwaukee Art Museum and at the Museum of Wisconsin Art in West Bend. Let me talk briefly about the printmaking process used in our Joseph's Coat print. It's called intaglio, spelled I-N-T-A-G-L-I-O, from the Italian for to engrave. The image is cut directly into a copper or zinc plate. These recessed lines then hold ink, and the ink then transfers to paper when the plate is run through the pressure of a printing press. Meeker and an engineer named John McPhee invented the Meeker-McPhee motorized etching press, combining serigraph, which is silk screening, and the intaglio so that the images looked three-dimensional. You will be able to see this print up close and personal once we can safely return to our synagogue building and museum. In addition to our wall of Bible story prints, you will be able to view another wall in this Klurfeld gallery, lined with beautiful holiday-themed needlepoints. These framed needlepoint works of art connect us to our past and origins as a congregation because they were stitched by our sisterhood members and originally graced the bema chairs in our first sanctuary. Here's a picture of those chairs. On another wall in Klurfeld Hall, we showcase a series of serigraphs or silk screens. Here's a sample of one of them. They illustrate the Pesach story, thus connecting us to a major holiday in our journey from Mideast to Midwest. Stay tuned for next month's Meet the Museum, when you will be treated to special tours of these two walls in the gallery by none other than Rabbi Ron and Judy Shapiro. The Shapiros and all the docents here at the museum appreciate your interest in our museum. Thank you for watching.